again for staying with us on the program, TMI Monday. We'll go straight to the heart of the show, which of course is the discussion segment. We're also expecting a very special guest much later in the course of the program. Well, the 2019 election is finally here because we just have a few days to the D-Day, Saturday, 16th February 2019, the first half, and then of course the second half will be March 2nd, when we'll be having the 2019 governorship and State House of Assembly election. But the big one is February 16th, and all eyes are on that election. Today on the program, the focus is on the issues that have been on the front burner, and then let's look at the key determinants of the outcome of the 2019 election against the background that, well, the candidates have since emerged, and not only that, they've been going across the length and breadth of the country to campaign and canvass for votes. At the state levels, you have the respective campaign councils going from ward to ward to ensure that they woo the electorate. But what are those things that will determine how the electorate respond to them on the D-Day, which of course is the election day? Not forgetting the fact that the umpire itself, INEC, over the weekend in the Benin City started the word-to-word campaign, neighbor-to-neighbor campaign, just to help to sensitize and conscientize the people to do the right thing on that day. All of these will form part of our discussions. But as I said in my opening lines on the show this morning, a major tragedy was averted following the crash land of the helicopter carrying Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Kogi State. And at the end of the day, it was unhurt, as well as other occupants in the helicopter, and we thank God for that. I saw in the papers this morning, the man said, God and the prayers of Papa Adeboye delivered him from that tragedy, and we're very grateful to God that it went the way it went, and we're congratulating the Vice President. With me on set this morning on the show, I'd like to thank very especially Sir Adams Aliyu. Sir Adams Aliyu is a legal practitioner. He's also a notary public and a constitutional lawyer. Sir Adams Aliyu, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning, moderator. Good morning, viewers.
We have with us also in the studio Collins Okonofwa Esquire, a regular on the show, but I can't remember last time you've been here, Collins.
Almost a year now.
So happy New Year! Happy New Year! Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay,
so let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Over the week, we saw a major issue that came to the front burner, which is that the ruling party can't field candidates in two states. That's in Rivers State and then in Zamfara State. INEC released the lists of states and the candidates for all the various offices that are up for grabs. Let me use that. And these two states were conspicuously missing. Was that in any way a big surprise to you, Barrister Adams Aliyu?
Well, I was not surprised because INEC is the moderator of the elections. In fact, INEC is empowered constitutionally by Part 1, the third schedule, Section 15, subsection A, gives INEC the power to organize, undertake, and supervise elections into the office of President, Vice President, Governor, Deputy Governor, Senate, House of Rep, and State House of Assembly. So in doing that, it's actually intraverse within its powers. The base is communicate that APC, the ruling party, should not figure on, according to which conflicting court judgments that after primaries there were accusations and counter-accusations by the parties. Some went to court A, they got clearance for Mr. A. Others went to court B, got clearance for Mr. B. So when there is litigation as such, the matter is sub judice And it will be contemptuous for, that's INEC now, for it to send one person's name or to be fielded. And so the contemnant could be charged to courts. These were what backed it, especially Section 87 of the Territorial Act 2010. He said his hands were tied. There are conflicting court judgments. It will not feel it. Why? They are saying that APC did not hold primaries. APC on its own says that it is a legally registered party. If so facto, it has right to field candidates, and that by its own constitution, there are 3 modalities for holding primaries. That it could be direct primaries in which any bona fide card-carrying member can vote, or indirect primaries, that is a sort of delegates and electoral college representatives will vote, or at worst, there be consensus ad idem. If the party leaders and elders unanimously choose some people, there might be no split voting. So APC is holding tight to that they duly held primaries as it should be. And meanwhile, they have gone to courts. We are even expecting judgment today for the Rivers State fielding of candidates. By the end of the day, we will know whether they can. But for Zamfara, it's not yet Uhuru. No date has been given. And the APC will use constitutional and legal means to ensure that the law is followed. If INEC follows the law to disqualify the person, all well and good. But if not, if INEC action was mala fide, in bad faith, it was presumptive and sentimentally flabby, they will continue to fight it.
Well, the court obviously will sort all of that out. Okay, Pastor Collins, is this Uhuru for other political parties in these 2 states that have been delisted by INEC to contest the governorship election, Rivers State, Zamfara State?
All right, thank you very much. I will start from Rivers State. By my own estimation, I had an inner, I don't want to call it joy, when I found that APC had been disqualified from contesting elections in Rivers State. The reason is this. And everybody expects from Rivers State that there's going to be war in that place. Why? Chibuke and Amechi, who is the Director General of Buhari's campaign organization, comes from Rivers State. And he would like to prove to his masters that he is holding the ground in Rivers State. Wike, on the other hand, is also the governor of the state and would also like to prove that he's the one who owns the place. And that's a perfect picture for bloodshed and war. So disqualifying APC from that elections, gives us, an aura of peace in the place. The other contenders are not going to be so desperate, as Amechi would have been in Rivers State. So to that extent, and this is just looking at it objectively, to that extent, I would say congratulations to Rivers people, because of the bloodshed that I see has been averted, as they would have been if APC had been allowed to contest that election.
Is it not a little bit too early against the background that by Saddam said?
Well, they've been to they are in court today on a frivolous ground. Excuse me, sir. All right, on a frivolous ground. The same Court of Appeal that has disqualified, that has upheld the judgment of the High Court is where they have gone. In fact, it's an abuse of court. You will find that to be the judgment of the court today. All right, that what the APC is requesting the court to do is an abuse of court process. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I think we can almost say that, APC is out of the elections in Rivers State. Besides, even if the court were to grant them their prayers today, then we will set about a whole chain of disorganization, because INEC would now have to begin to print new ballot papers, because as things stand right now, INEC is under duty bound to exclude APC from the elections, all right, in Rivers State. So if now the court grants them that prayer, it will mean now that INEC would have to go print fresh ballot papers, there are going to be fresh round of campaigns and all of that. In fact, people are even suspecting that on account of that, the elections might be postponed in both Rivers and in Zamfara State. And I think it's the same picture in Zamfara State as well. Okay. All right. I think they just outdid themselves. And this is what played out in the two states. They just outdid themselves. They have two camps. In Rivers State, for instance, you had Magnus Abe faction and you had Amechi's faction. Each of them trying to outdo themselves. During which process, they shot themselves in the foot, both of them. Okay, so I should say I thank God that this has happened in Rivers State, not because I have anything against APC, but because I know that by reason of their exclusion, there will be more peace in the state.
Let me come to Sir Adam Saliu. Would you say this incident playing out, this drama playing out about delisting from delisting by INEC to contest election in Rivers and Zamfara State was a self-inflicted problem? Would you say so? Would you say it was self-inflicted by the party?
Well, to begin with, it will be presumptuous to assert the election is still 13, 14 days away. So
12 days, that's my fault.
12 days, yes.
So Sonny Okosun once told us that when the time comes, we want to know
who owns the land.
That's Sonny Okosun.
Certainly not me. This is Sonny Okosun.
Who owns the land. And it is not over until it is over. So it is not yet over. The APC is a law-abiding party, predicated on representative democracy. It has taken jurisprudential approach, and we hope that because of the rule of law, justice and equity will prevail. Because each of the 91 political parties that is fundamentally qualified to stand for election.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you just join us, it's still TMI Monday with yours sincerely. Of course, 12 days to the 2019 elections. Campaigns have been ongoing, and a question this morning on that plank is, are the political parties delivering the right messages to the electorate, or the electorate are already aware what the issues are, and as such they've made up their minds on what they're likely going to do in the election? Let me start with Pastor Collins Sukonofwa. The electorates, are they aware of the issues? The political parties, in the course of their campaigns, are they delivering the right messages to the electorates, particularly at the campaign venue? I saw a press briefing by the NBC recently where they were setting out or emphasizing the guidelines to media stations in terms of what they should allow, what they should not allow, particularly as it relates to live broadcast and stuff like that. And they came up with a whole lot of issues as it relates to some of the comments, statements, and issues being brought forth by political parties at their campaign ground. And I don't know what your thoughts are along those lines.
All right, I think the issues are pretty much well set out. For the electorate, the issues are those that stare the voters in the face. So I think the campaigns are just to highlight the issues that are on ground. First, we want to look at the two major candidates, all right, Buhari for the APC and Atiku for the PDP. And leaving the candidates, let's go to the issues. The issues are that right now there's hunger and starvation in the land. There's no preaching about it. I mean, you don't preach about it. There's hunger and starvation in the land, and that's obvious to everybody. I mean, things have gone much worse from what things were in 2015. And what APC came and promised Nigerians, they promised change. What we forgot to ask them was what kind of change they were promising. We have found down the line that what APC actually has delivered is negative change on every front.
How do you substantiate it? Because
I'm going to talk about it now.
Subjective opinion.
No, not subjective. They are very good. You see them on ground, all right, on all indices, all right. How much was the dollar in 2015? How much was the bag of rice in 2015? How much was fuel in 2015? How much were you buying commodities in the market? You don't need to preach about that. It touches everybody from top to bottom. So everybody knows what's going on, and these are the issues. Okay, when the promise changed, I mean, they told us, Fashola, who is the current Minister of Electricity or Power, he had said that any reasonable and genuine government should be able to do something positively about the power supply within 6 months. That guy has spent almost 4 years in that place now. I live in Igbo. And for the past 3 months, since December when I came back, there's not been light in the place. And I hear that's how it has been. And then I heard him say now that they should go and ask government from 1999 why there has been no power. 3 years of 3.5 years down the line as power minister. I mean, this is what has replicated itself in all the sectors. They have deceived Nigerians. They have impoverished Nigerians. And now
when you say they have deceived Nigeria, that would be a little bit taken too far.
No, let me tell you. I said they made promises.
That's the point.
And the promises they made are false promises. How do you deceive a person? You make a false promise to the person. And that's exactly what APC has done. They have made false promises to Nigerians on every front. They will make petrol to be 14 naira per liter. It became 145. They will make dollar to be 1 naira to a dollar. It became 360. They will make food items to be cheap. They have all skyrocketed. Nigerians are suffering. Suddenly, just before the elections, we are hearing about trader money, which is a euphemism for vote buying. Because, I mean, Obasanjo even described this trader money as idiotic. All right, that was his exact word. It's idiotic. Because what does it really mean? How much difference will 10,000 naira make in a man's life in Nigeria of today? That you are taking money to the market and giving to market people and telling them that this will change their lives? Take 10,000 naira that cannot buy a half bag of rice? How much difference will that make in a person's life? Except that it is intended to induce people to vote for a particular party. So the issues are pretty clear. Okay, there's no question about it.
Let me pursue the Mr. Collins, because I recall that in 2015 or pre-2015, there was also something in this mode where you had a Shopee and people were getting a lot.
That Shopee has been on for a long time. It has been on throughout the administration of Jonathan.
Then two, in the history of Nigeria, has there ever been a time that prices didn't go up? Has there ever been a time?
Not so sharply.
There has never been a time.
Not so sharply.
These have always been on the upward trend.
When Nigeria went to the street to protest against the fuel price increase in Jonathan's time, how much increase did he put on the fuel price? Okay. Now this man came from 87 naira to 145 against the promise that we will be having fuel at 40 naira. That's the deceit we're talking about.
Okay, let me push it there. Sir Adam Saliu, let me get you involved now in terms of the key issues that will shape this election.
The factors that will shape this election, they are evidence. Before 2015, we know the situation of things. The party ruled for 16 years, and people said we are tired, we wanted change, they had a change. In the days of the Holy Roman Empire, almighty Rome was not built in a day. We cannot expect the mistakes, the errors accumulated, accentuated for 16 years to be obliterated in 3.5 or 4 years. That would be utopia. The main bone of contention that instigated all this was corruption. It was becoming synonymous with Nigeria. The present government promised to fight corruption headlong. We know serving governors that are serving jail terms. Once there is proven empirical evidence that the person corrupt, Nigeria's money is in somebody's hand, he must account for it without any option God. As for the trader money, many of these petty traders, they don't have 5,000 as capital. if the capital is shared around to begin with, because in law, you cannot build something or not and expect it to start. So when you empower somebody, say, start pure water business with 10,000, it can increase as the time goes on. So the facts are there. They are very secret. It's only comments that are free. If there were mistakes, if the country was under recession for 16 years, it cannot be obliterated in 3.5 years. We are very sure that with the nuances, with the usages, with the modus vivendi now in operation, with Nigeria's money now being kept safe or at work being used for the masses, one person will not become a billionaire and have the money and go free. So that corruption is being tackled frontally for the first time without minding whose ox is God. It's a monumental achievement by this administration.
Excuse me, I was just sorry. Yeah. I was just hoping that it would not go into that area of corruption. All right, because that's a serious blight on this government. As a matter of fact, this is the most corrupt government that we have ever had. I can tell you that I'm talking about
facts. Let's when you will make blanket statements like that, there's always a question.
Let me give you.
I know you have rights to express your opinion, but to say this is the most corrupt government, you don't have the facts.
Okay. So you don't have the facts. This is a corrupt government.
You cannot.
I can tell you that.
No, let us know.
I can tell you that. Let me show what I mean.
Yes,
I know what I'm saying.
Present in a way, the way you present.
In fact, to say that this government is an anti-corruption government is an insult to the sensibility of Nigerians. The man is insulting Nigerians to say that it's an anti-corruption government. Who is the corrupt person in this country that is not in APC right now? Who are the corrupt people in this country? Name them that is not in APC right now. They are all in APC, all of them that they say, when they keep talking about PDP destroyed this country, I'm asking, who is the PDP that they're talking about? Is it what's his name? What's the former governor's name? You know the one I'm talking about. Is it Shomole? Is it Fashola? Who are we talking about? Who is the APC, the PDP that we're talking about? What's this man's name in Akwa Ibom State? The former governor of. Can you furnish me with his name, please?
I will buy you
Akpabio. Akpabio, thank you very much. Is it not Akpabio stood on the podium and said that PDP destroyed this country for 16 years? And I'm like, excuse me, who's talking? Everybody who has any corruption tag on his face is right now in APC. And Oshomole, the national chairman of APC, came out the other day and said blatantly, come to APC and your sins will be forgiven. What else do you need? And this is the government that calls itself an anti-corruption government. Look at across board APC. Check out all of them. Andrew Zokalu has a 7.8 billion naira charge against him. He's a chieftain of APC, and right now he's one of the members of the campaign council of the APC. So I don't expect this, but I thought he would not even go there because it's a blight on them. Besides the trader money that he's talking about right now.
Yes.
To show you how corrupt the government is, many of the people who got that money did not get 10,000. Some got 7, some got 8, but they could not speak out because they know it's wash money. All right, let
me just ask you a question. You said, many of those people who are corrupt are now in APC.
Anybody who is the PDP right now, anybody who is the PDP right now is a man who can chest out because.
Just hold on. These people that you're talking about, is there any court of competent jurisdiction that has so charged them?
God bless you. So who is the person in PDP that a court of competent jurisdiction has indicted that they say that the party is corrupt? Who is the person in PDP? Anybody you find in PDP right now is a man who can chest out and say, I'm clean. Because if they can find anything, the corruption war is not a corruption war. It's just, they are fighting opponents, political opponents. All right, they put a tag on the person. Why are they after the Chief Justice of Nigeria? All right, now what is the heaven that will fall if the president did not go ahead to suspend that man and instead of allowing the due process to play out? What heaven will fall? What catastrophe would have taken place if Ologe had not been suspended, they needed to put one of their own, because they are planning ahead, you know, of the 2019 elections of the president, so that when the case eventually goes to court, it will meet their own there. Otherwise, what was the emergency? What was the urgency? Why couldn't you just allow the process play out? I mean, this is what you see, you know, APC do on all facets. All right. So when you say that they are fighting corruption, in fact, that is the lowest score on corruption, anti-corruption, on security. Terrible. We have never had it so bad. In fact, every time APC holds a rally right now, like they did, what was it in Ibadan yesterday, 3 people died. In the APC rally, 3 people died. And that has been a recurrent decimal in all their campaigns. All right, and this is a government that says it's going to fight, it's going to take on security issues headlong. All right, so they want to know that the APC has failed both in all fronts. All the promises that they made, in fact, we call them all promises. Okay, cancelled.
Just let me pause it there for a moment. As you know, thoughts that you express here, they're entirely yours, but we have to express them in line within the context of laid down.
Okay, you find that everything I say, I support them with facts.
Barrister Adam Saliu on board. Barrister Adam Saliu.
I'm not
yes.
on argumentative basis. We are tangentially moving towards the former Chief Justice case Onorin.
Yeah.
That attempts were being made to substitute by elimination. Whereas the judiciary is sacrosanct. This is a unit of government that is not predicated on tribalism.
Okay.
The seniority hierarchy is there. As a documentalist and a statistician, I remember that as far back as 1958, Adetokunbo Ademola was Chief Justice of this country. For 25 years, according to seniority, all successive Chief Justices of Nigeria, they came from southern Nigeria, including Ayo Airikefe. It was early 90s now. It moved to the north, including Aloma Miriam Mukhtar. About 7 Chief Justices too, following seniority on that. They were all equally from northern Nigeria. It only happened circumstantially now, an anomalous situation, that Onorin was of seat. His immediate 2IC deputy is a northerner. And people are interpreting it that it is substitution by elimination. Whereas it is not so. As I said, for 25 years, because of seniority, they don't mind where you come from. It was sad. And that 25 years, it's one of the statistics are there. This is the first time now that you have a sitting CG. The next senior person is a northerner. The next one now, Olubode Rose Vivant, is equally a southerner. So there's no tribalism involved. The matter is a judicial case. It will be answered judiciously, not politically, not tribalistically or sentimentally. Okay. And the man will appear in court. And we will see, because if you come to equity...
So in your opinion, Mr. Adam Saliu, you're satisfied with the fight against corruption? You're satisfied?
Very well. Some serving former governors are already in jail. Okay. If it is true, it's different to be sentimental.
These were cases that were instituted against these people by the PDP while they were PDP members.
Even the PDP.
While they were PDP members. These governors who are in jail right now,
just for a moment, he has the floor.
Yeah. And now, even the presidential candidate, Atiku, who was in APC for a long time, the director general of his campaign organization, Saraki Sele President, was in APC for the first time. So the political party is not a magna carta, neither is it an umbrella to shield you. Once there's a petition to EFCC or to ICPC, it is corroborated, empirically and evidentially proved, you will answer for it. We have to start from somewhere, and that is where we are.
Okay, I just want to ask this question too, Barrister Adam Saliu, which is, in all of these, particularly with the anti-corruption war, what you make of public perception of the anti-corruption war?
The public without being biased, we are in a democratic system, judicial, rule of law prevails. If there is proof that you are corrupt, you can return the money, you can pay back, you can go to jail. That is how it should be. But people believe in presumption, speculation, and just anticipating what is in their minds. And the judge will not convict somebody on that. Before the judge will pass judgment, the court will say, with the evidence available before me. You know that many of these allegations, the prosecution will not be diligent enough in legal practice to prove it to a conclusive end. And if the prosecution back out or institutes a null prosecute that you cannot continue the case will die prematurely. So let us wait and allow the rule of law.
No, the question I think was the public perception. You know,
public perception that they are satisfied that the looters of Nigeria's money, they are being persecuted. Some are refunding money on their own volition.
Okay. All right, Mr. Collins Okunofa. Before 2015, there's the feeling that, oh, there was so much money within the system and money was flowing, that kind of a thing. But now, the feeling that the money is not flowing the way it used to flow. And some have said, in 2015, you have free flow of money because people had access to the treasury. And to allude to that, when this government came on board, with the several revelations about the monies made for arms purchase going into private pockets, people storing money, stockpiling money in tanks, overhead tanks, septic tanks, and all kinds of things. Don't you think that something definite has been done to avoid a scenario where people have direct access to the till, the public treasury, to amass wealth for themselves at the detriment of the country, of the nation's economy, at the detriment of the life of the average Nigerian?
On the very contrary, sir. In fact, we have never had it so bad in this country, on every front. That there is scarcity in the land now is not a function of the fact that they have blocked loopholes for stealing money. In fact, as I said to you before, this is a time when people are stealing money in this country. All right? I hope you are aware, sir, that the government also took $1 billion from the excess crude account. This government, without recourse to the National Assembly. All right? In the name of procuring arms for these soldiers. These same soldiers who many of them have abandoned their jobs and run away because they complain that they don't have weapons. Okay? Now, before 2015, let me tell you something. The characteristics of a kingdom derive from the king. How the king is, how the kingdom will be. In 1983, when this same General Buhari became head of state, that's how there was scarcity, there was hardship in the land. People queued up to buy bread. The milk became an essential commodity. That was what happened. And as soon as he left, when Babangida came, there was abundance in the land.
What happened after that?
Because
what happened after Babangida left? What was the state of the country in terms of the economy?
What happened after Babangida left? Yes. After Babangida left, Abacha took over. There was money in the country. There was so much money Abacha nearly stole Nigeria dry. There was so much money.
No, but Pastor Collins,
okay, I'm sorry. Okay, because of course, you know that there have been many cases of Abacha loot recovery. Yeah. That's what I'm alluding to.
Okay.
All right. There was so much money. After Abacha came, Sholeko. After Sholeko came, Abdul Salami, and there's been abundance in the land. This is the first time in the history of this country that we have been described as the poverty headquarters of the world. Nigeria of all nations, all right, that we have been described as the poverty headquarters of the world. A government that says it is fighting corruption. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom described Nigeria as fantastically corrupt during the era of this same government. So what are we talking about? This government has impoverished Nigerians. All right, Nigerians are suffering. Watch after 2019, after this APC government will leave in after February. You will see what will happen. There will be abundance in the land.
Election has not held.
I am telling you what happened. Nigerians are fed up of this. Nigerians are fed up of this government. Nigerians are fed up. You are beating the gun. Are you going to vote for APC? You are beating the gun. Will you vote for APC? You are beating the gun. In all good conscience, you are beating the gun. You are beating the gun. After they leave now, you will see what will happen in this country. There will be abundance. Why are you so sure that they are telling you because the characteristics how a man's head is how his kingdom will be. You are speaking for yourself. Excuse me, sir. I said how a man's head is how his kingdom will be. We saw Buhari from 1983 to 1985. Nigeria was in dire straits. Nigerians suffered in the same way as we are suffering right now. It cannot change. They say they want to take us to the next level. But that government is the next level you're talking about. That government you're talking about was commended for introducing war against Jesus Christ. What kind of war? Which is not developing a platform on which will be assessing a government war against indiscipline. Yes. In any case, what kind of war did they fight? Against what kind of indiscipline? In the same period when 53 suitcases came into this country while Buhari was president, when there was a currency change, nobody knows what happened to that Let me end with this quickly. If Nigerians want to rescue themselves, because right now we have been plunged into a cave. If Nigerians want to rescue themselves, February 16 offers us a golden opportunity to come out of this morass. Because Nigeria cannot, in fact, it is the insult of the highest order for Nigeria to be described as the poverty headquarters of the world. That means that we have the greatest number of poor people in the world. Nigeria ought not to be named as such. Okay. It is only because of the kind of government that we have in place. Once this government is taken out on February 16, trust me, you will see that there will be change all over, and that's when we will see the true change. For right now, what Nigerians need to do is to rescue Nigeria from the hand of this cabal. In fact, the president that we have, there are many reasons. Okay. Let me pause you. Let's not get this personal. Let's focus on the issue like we've always done. Yeah. I asked a question a while ago relating to public perception, and you made some comments along those lines. I want us to dwell more on it. I watched a video recently where the vice president was asking at a campaign ground, are you happier than you were in some years back? The answer that he got, was I'm sure he wasn't shocked with the kind of answer that he got, because everyone said, no, that's just on the side. The point I'm making is that what are those gains this government has brought on board that has changed public perception? I want to get your thoughts along those lines.
Well, the first one is integrity.
Integrity plus incompetence.
Mentioned the war against indiscipline.
Yes.
Those days, things were being done at random, and the soldiers took over. In Buhari's 1983, you had to follow him with the collaboration of his deputy, S.Y. Diago. Things were done routinely, and indiscipline was swept away. It is the same indiscipline that is being reenacted, that the country does not belong to only a few people. What touches all should be approved by all. What omnes tangis, ab omnibus approbatio. What touches all should be approved by all. So once there is discipline, once there is integrity, and as you said, I'm happy that my co-discussant has not said that this very presidential candidate was corrupt, he was seen with this money and all that. Luckily, the facts are there. So integrity and discipline, which is the bedrock, is fundamental to development. And 3.5 years, 4 years is enough as preparation to take it to the next level. All the rubbish that was done and prevalent on the country for 16 years cannot be obliterated in 1 quarter, those 4 years out of 16. So we should give peace a chance, and the people will decide. He is optimistic about February 16. It will be Valentine area and very optimistic too. That is how it always be. And remember that there are 73 candidates contesting for the post of presidency out of the 91, and we will see that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. People whose hands have been soiled will not be allowed to continue to take money and share it. The philosophy of sharing the money will be eradicated, and once and for all, the masses are happy.
Assuming, sir, without conceding, assuming without conceding that this president is an upright man, a man with integrity, would you enter into a plane, an aeroplane, that has a pilot with integrity but without competence? Would you enter that plane? I would not. This is a man that is grossly incompetent. And I say that with the full sense of responsibility. The man is aged. All right, we saw him lately. In fact, I mean, the last outing, the few last outings of the man gave Nigerians palpitation. Is this the man who has been leading us? No wonder they have been shielding him. They didn't allow Nigerians to see him. What kind of president is this that will not even address the people he governs? In a whole year, since 2015, how many times has Buhari spoken to Nigerians? Is that how to cover the country? President Trump tweets to Americans on a daily basis, in fact almost on an hourly basis, on every issue. So the people know where the president stands on every issue. This man has been mute. He says nothing and does nothing. And then later he comes out and you would think that his taciturnity is brand. But you later find out that it's actually... When you say he says nothing, he does nothing, that will not be correct. Because he actually does nothing. He comes out later to tell you. He comes out later to tell you. You see, he comes out later to tell you that he never knew. And to stop. You would think that he's keeping quiet a lot of projects. Which projects? Let's be factual. Which projects? Yes, I saw him commissioning the project. Yes. When he was giving a presidential flag to a gubernatorial contestant, a candidate in Delta State, I saw him. And that was a mistake. And then he now corrected it and gave him a senatorial flag. After that, he gave him a gubernatorial flag. Is that the man you want to lead you? For God's sake, we are far higher than that. The man is an insult to Nigerians. We have come to find out that we made a gross mistake. It was a great mistake. Be civil in your language. When I watch it, every time I watch that man. Now the point is this. Let's not get too emotional with the comments that we make. I'm sorry, because when you say the man is an insult to Nigeria, you are speaking for yourself. Okay. You are not speaking for the average Nigerian. Very true. You are not speaking for others. You are not speaking for me. It's an embarrassment to me. You know, he visited Trump in America. President Trump, his conclusion about his assessment of the man was this man was lifeless. How can that man represent me, as sharp as I am? That man will be my president, and Nigerians are known to be the smartest people amongst the smartest people in the world, and that man will be the one representing us. How can I have an Atiku and a Buhari standing side by side, and I will go after Buhari and pick him? Come to that. How could I have not that done? Adam Salute, yes. Now, the answer is simple. It is not blowing in the wind. We all have our PVCs. Use your PVC to decide. Absolutely. And with that, the president in question and the focus will be in Ondo tomorrow campaigning. Yeah. So many insinuations have been done. He's a borrowed person. He came from Ethiopia. He gave room to all of that. And all that. He gave room to it. One person came. He will not address Nigerians. That's going to just be hard. And so, what has not been said? And we all know that it is not possible that even in a family of 5, one person will disappear. Another person will come from Uganda and replace the family without the family members. So let's leave that. But as I said, we have our PVCs to decide. Presidential campaign of the APC will land in Ondo tomorrow, and the three continue. To be vociferous and sentimental is not the answer. The masses have their PVC. They will use it to decide. And I pray after the election, we are back to the studio. So what are your expectations on the election, Bester Nafsali, on the final word? What's your expectation? The facts are speaking for themselves. There is a monumental change from pre-2015 era to now. Okay. And the masses will decide. Okay, all right. Let's take the final word from you. All right. Yes. I believe that Nigerians have become a much wiser people now. By February, on the 16th of February, to be a day to liberate Nigerians from the morass that this government has put us in. I need to say this. Between Atiku Abubakar and Muhammadu Buhari, who are the two major contestants, I think it is pretty clear who Nigerians are going to vote for. What I want to advise Nigerians is go out, cast your votes. People are saying that, oh, we know that Atiku will win, but we know that they are going to rig it. I'm just advising Nigerians, go out and cast your vote. It is when people don't vote that they can rig it. If you have the polling unit where you have 500 registered voters and only 200 show up, that's when they will make up the 300 deficit. They will make it up and then beef it up. So I'm encouraging Nigerians to go out. And if you don't like what's going on right now, as I know many of us don't, go out with your PVC and change your situation. And you can do that. Go out. Don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. Nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to harm you. Go out and cast your vote. And cast it. If they give you money, because we also hear they're going to be doing that. If they give you money, it's Nigeria's money. You can take it and vote your conscience. And I know that many of you are voting for Atiku Abubakar. And I encourage you to do that.
This is not for campaign. We're here to analyze issues and bring out the facts as much as we can. Well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for finding time to be here. Sir Adam Salume, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
And Barrister Collins Sukono, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's the TMI Monday. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back with you. But just to let you know that, like we always say here, whatever views that are expressed on this program, they're entirely the views of those expressing it. They are not the views or the opinions of the station. We need to put that record straight. All right, so thank you so much for staying with us. We'll take a short break. We'll be back on set with the member representing Igoi Kubaka Federal Constituency, Mr. E.J. Agboyima, in a moment. Stay tuned.